Good morning, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here on this beautiful Wednesday morning. My name is Allison Mancini. I am a holistic nutritionist, and I'm here with my good friend.
Hi, I'm Julietta, the Magical PT, and welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, support, uplift women. And today we are joined by an amazing woman. And Lisa, will you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, absolutely. I have to start off with great gratitude Wednesday, everybody. My name is Lisa Thomas L. I'm from Light Creations, Lite, and Creations with a Z. Um, I come by way of what could I say? Um, by trade, I am a licensed therapist, and um, I also do podcasts. I recently just co-authored a book from Destined to Win, and my title of it was Inner Monologue. And yeah, mother of three wonderful sons and 11 grandchildren.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Yes, 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 but I love them dearly.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, we are super excited to have, you didn't even tell them your title, the Goddess of Love, on our show.
Oh, yeah, yes, right. And AKA Goddess of Love. And it's such a funny story about how Goddess of Love came about. I was doing intervention. Someone was on intervention with me, and so a way of looking at some of the challenges you may have, you found it as your superpower. You started seeing your life from um, like the things that we say, oh, these are challenging, and this is hard. We started to shift our thinking and started looking at how these challenges created the person that I am. And so Goddess of Love became my new signature name.
I
So that's
love it.
yes.
Well, that kind of leads into our first question, which is, Lisa, what is your superpower?
Ooh, I think about that question, and it's like, how do you pinpoint one particular thing? And it's kind of challenging. And I will say, like, Goddess of Love would be pretty simple to say because okay, she's just a loving person, or it's more complicated than that because love is not just I I love you and you love me. It's being able to be compassionate, being able to understand that we all have differences and loving people through that, not because you agree with me, but because collectively I know that we're all one and we're extensions of each other. And that does not mean, yes, you're going to agree with everything I say and I'm going to agree with everything you're saying, but being able to be compassionate and hear what people are saying instead of just assuming that I know what something means. Um, So I would say, yes, being able to show love or demonstrate love for others as well as myself. But laughter, I would say laughter is my superpower. Laughter is
We
my
need so
superpower.
much of that today.
Yes, yes, laughter. And actually, I'm going to extend myself in doing healing through laughter because, and I say laughter is my superpower because we're so morbidly serious, right? We're so morbidly serious, and we take everything like. And I know with this current pandemic, it's been rough for everybody. Um, during that time, I lost my mother. Like she was diagnosed with
Mm,
stage 4 cancer. She just turned
sorry.
70 in January. Like in March, we found out that she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. By August the 29th, she passed on. However, there's gifts in it. There's been gifts in it, and despite the fact that, of course, I grieve and I miss my mother, and I sometimes like, Dag, I wish I could pick up the phone and call her. But now I pick up. I just took, embrace my heart, and I hear her, and I'm with her, and so I recognize that she's never left me. That she's still an extension of me, and she shows up sometimes in me. Like some things I do, some things I say, I'm like, oh goodness, okay, mom, you can,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can so relate to all
yeah,
of that you're saying. So I lost my mom 10 years ago, and um, it was hard. But now I can look and see so many gifts in it, so many gifts in it. And um, yeah, all the time, everybody, you remind me so much of your mom. I'm like, so she's still alive here in me, and still around all the time. So I
yeah,
can
and it doesn't.
relate, and sending a big hug out to you.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Now I get to celebrate, like her anniversary is coming up. I get to celebrate her life. That was one thing that I was concerned about was, will I be mourning like for the rest of my life? And people say, well,
A
once you,
little bit.
yeah, once you lose your mom, it's never going to be the same. And I'm like, oh my God, what does this mean? But I was like, I want to celebrate my mother. I want to celebrate her life because she lived so much more than her decease. So I want to be able to extend myself and openly celebrate her life. So I guess that's one of my superpowers, being able to see the world through a different lens. Like it doesn't have to be this. That's why the healing through laughter comes, because it's like, wow, I can embrace who I am and all my experiences that I've gone through. And sometimes, like when I look at it from, this is going to kind of go into like one of the other questions, like two of the books that really has had a great influence on me recently has been Radical Forgiveness and The Four Agreements. And so to take radical forgiveness and see that we're all these souls having this experience and we have this soul contract, I'm like, wow. So if I look at our soul contract, and I see everybody as souls, like I see you two lovely ladies as souls, and we made this agreement long before this particular moment, then I like it takes on a whole different meaning for me. It's not so much me taking it personal and me
Mhm.
saying, oh, she's doing this to me, or oh, they're loving on me. It's like, oh, we made this agreement for
Mhm.
this moment to happen, for the evolution of our souls. So yeah, there have I'm just really excited to be embarking on this journey of living, not saying, oh, I could thrive so much more and help people so much more and thriving and seeing like there's just no one way of seeing things. Like people say, oh, but this is the truth. This is what it is. Like, Dad, is it? Is it really?
So
I
true.
love that.
Well,
That's right.
I love how you said about your mom, because my mom is still alive. She'll be 83, but I don't see her very often. But I love how you said that like, she's an extension of you now. Like, you see yourself doing things. And Julietta, I don't know if it was Julietta and I were just talking about this, or a girlfriend and I were talking about it, but I find it so interesting because I struggled for a long time when I was younger with the idea of dying. It was very frightening to me. And as I've gotten older, I love like so many of these books that we've read and the women that we've interviewed and the things that we talk about. And I realize that it's just a different energy. It's just a different, and it's just like you said, like it almost gives me chills. Like your mom's a part of you in a different way. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp, but I think it's so important. And I love that you shared that. So I just had to like digress and go back there for a second.
Uh,
I thought
Thank
that was
you.
awesome.
No, thank you. Because you know what? This is. I'm going to say this is funny. No, this is not funny, but
But it is.
it is funny. My mother had a lot of letters behind her name and all, and she did a lot of trainings and she did a lot of
Mhm.
things. And I remember, like, I was so fortunate to be there with her. Despite like, my appreciation for COVID was that it put us in a different position. So
Mhm.
instead of me having to work at a job, I was able
Mhm.
to work from home. And
Yeah.
at some point, I even stopped working from home because it was just too much. It was too stressful. It was just a lot of pile-ups of demands from my job and then caretaking of my mother. Like,
Right.
she's like, well, where you at? What you doing? But I was able to be present with my mother during her final days and care for her. And it was the most rewarding experience. I never cleaned somebody's behind so much and gratefully than doing it for my mother. And she was
Yeah.
I would say she was a diva, and very, and she would have never wanted, and particularly wanted that, but to be able to be there and
Yeah.
to do it for her, I'm honored. So really to sit back and say, oh my God, I lost my mother. It's like I was there. I felt like I did
Mhm.
the very best that I could possibly do, as the four agreements talk about doing your best, and was excited. Like the home health aides is like I never seen nobody so excited about, like, I could change her bed with her in it. Freaking phenomenal.
I love that.
Like, oh my God, this is something that's done. I could really change
Skills.
that with her in it. And I was like excited about, oh, how do you do this? And yeah, I it was so
I
exciting.
You- You're
I
taking me
love
back
how
to my hospital working days.
And
well,
I
I
never
love
did
how
that.
I love how you pulled in the four agreements of doing your best, even in a time when it was hard. You were still doing your best. Like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's really
And that's all that you could, I mean, there was times where it was like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do? And I had to be like present. And I don't even want to say be strong for my family. I just wanted to be present. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't, I don't want to show no weakness. I want to, like, listen, we were losing our mother. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't no weakness. And it was the reality of it. However, like I had nieces and nephews and different people around, I just wanted to show presence. Like
Mhm.
what I really valued, I got to step up to the plate. See, I always said I value family and my friends and people I love, and money was not like the major thing. But when it came down to your mother's sick, hospice is here, she doesn't look like she's going to have much time. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And it was a no brainer. I'm staying.
Yeah. That's
I'm staying.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love that.
So just being able to make that decision, and I don't regret it at all. Like just to be able to be there for her and to watch her take her last breath, it was an honor.
Yeah.
Thank you
Wow.
for sharing that.
Yeah, I know. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
I'm like, it's making me teary.
I know, me too. I'm like,
Woo.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so our second, I don't know if we need to talk more. The second question is, what is a book that has greatly influenced your life? But were those the two books that you were going to talk about?
Yeah, like
so
I kept thinking like, what books?
I've
And
never read Radical Forgiveness.
oh my gosh, you have to. This is
No.
a great. This
Have
is
you read it, Julietta?
I have not. I'm
Okay.
like,
Another one we've never read.
just let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know because I will be with you. I'll read it again. I can read it again. Radical.
we'll have to put it on our book club list. So.
Yes, that book was a life, and I just read it a couple of months ago, and it was just like, what? And so, but I could see like conversations with God in it. I could see like different other books in
Really?
it as well. But one of my first books, and my mother introduced me to this book, is "You Can Heal Your Life."
I've
I
never heard of that one either.
Oh my God, by Louise Hay. I was introduced to her at age 15.
Louise Hay is on my bookshelf, and then, Hay House Publishing. Oh my God, like that was like my entire library.
Yeah, yeah. She just I followed her for a really long time. And but yeah, they were and these were books like Conversations with God, You Can Heal Your Life. They were books that my mother introduced me to. And
Oh, nice.
even when she's like Louise Hay, she definitely followed a while. Conversations with God, she was introduced to, and then she told me about it, and then she just was like, "Oh, it was a conflict with what she believed, some of the things," and I was just like, "Oh my God, this was my soul's answer," and I was excited about it. And she was like, "Okay, that's not that serious," but
Yeah, I get, and he talks about that in the book, that some people that are, very religious, it's a struggle to
Mhm.
listen to what he has to say. It
Mhm.
does go against a lot of what we're taught in traditional
right,
religion, but
because of domestication and the dream of the world,
Mhm.
like right now I'm about to do read the same book with some children who they would say inner city kids, and I
Mhm.
hate the labels and everything. I'm like, oh, let's, we're gonna raise up beyond that. Like it's not,
Mhm.
you're not below anything. We're just gonna rise up behind that. And sometimes it starts with the mentality. If we change the
Mhm.
mindset, then it's going to change that. So we're going to be. We just ordered the books, and I'm going to do a book club with two of the lead two kids
Hmm.
that are have proclaimed themselves as leaders and demonstrate
Hmm.
themselves as that as well. So we're going to do a big book club, and I'll be mentoring them.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm so excited. Like it takes on, even in my within my therapeutic community, I've been using the same thing.
Mhm.
With families and stuff. Just like,
Mhm.
what are our agreements? What agreements are we making within
Mhm.
the family dynamics, and really taking a realistic look at your beliefs.
Mhm.
Whose beliefs are they really? Are they yours? Or, people say, I don't want people to tell me what to do, but you are being strung like a puppet anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
thinking
we
it's your
are.
idea, and thinking this is my idea. Like, okay.
Yep. Yep. All right. Let's move on to the third question, because it is so important for goddesses to take care of themselves. What is your favorite self-care practice?
Okay. So 5 a.m. wake up.
Mhm.
Um, that entails reading. So I study in the morning. Actually, I just recently started. It's called the Steps to Knowledge. It's a daily. It's almost, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a daily practice of like mindfulness, like consciousness, like really asking yourself questions, like what is knowledge, and the way, if you want to change the word from knowledge, or what is God, or what do you really know? Like they ask you those kind of questions,
Hmm.
and it gets deeper into it. I'm only a few days into it, but it gets really deeper, and it tells you like to practice, to take out 10 minutes a day and just kind of um, meditate on it, just
Mhm.
really looking at who am I really? And I
Mhm.
love it because it unveils so many things. Like, it's like, what is my purpose in the world? I know as a teenager, I always ask myself that, you know, eh, do I even have a purpose? And I
Mhm.
struggled with myself. So it's constantly, asking like, what is the universe, or what is God, or what is this magnificence? What
Mhm.
is this really? And so it really puts me on a journey of looking at, wow, what if I took God out of a box? What if I took him out of a box and didn't put so many holds on him and said, this is what God is? But take him out the box and say, do I really know who God is? And what is this thing that I call God? Or what is this thing I call the universe? Or what is this? Is it really about whether I'm bad or good? And what is bad or good? And what is these experiences that I'm having? And people say I make mistakes and I do this. Like, what is that? So part of my self-care is
Mhm.
my mindfulness, my mindful practices,
Mhm.
being so really hard on myself. When I have experiences that I may say, wow, didn't do too good on that. But how about, hey, I'm more aware.
Mhm.
I'm more aware. And like my coach would tell me, like, don't be so beat up on yourself when you're in a process of learning.
Mhm.
You're in a teaching mood. So, even with teaching, you think I'm supposed to know everything.
Mhm.
I'm supposed to have this all. And I know I don't know everything. I'm learning. I'm
Mhm.
learning more and more. So instead of like beating up on myself, I'm like, every moment I'm getting better and better, and I'm learning more and more. So to practice more and more. So
It's interesting because I was recently I love, like, you sound like me, like I love to read and learn and study, and I do like continuing education, and I was recently doing this course. It's called Proven, and one of the parts that they talk about is how actually damaging stress is to our health, to our overall health, and ways that have been, so part of the title is ways that have been proven to help these different aspects of our health. And they always, every form is like scientifically researched and backed that it has shown to reduce whatever that is. And so one of the 5 ways to help reduce stress in your life is actually mindfulness practice. And they really talk about the importance of, like, there's courses out there that you could actually take on mindfulness, or like you said, this that you're studying through. Like, it's really important. Not only, like you said, mindfulness is a time to figure out, like you said, you're figuring out what your purpose is and where you're at, but it's so good for your wellness and your health, that it's really important. So I'm interested. So this Steps to Knowledge, is that a book you're reading? Is it a course?
It's not something that you just go ahead and read and go through. Yeah, it does. No, it tells you this is a daily practice. So
Okay.
it's a 365-day practice.
Oh, that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So I'm on day like 6, I believe. Yeah, 6.
Nice.
So it's something that, I mean, it really opens up your mind and your consciousness to, like, there's what is this? Like, what do I really know?
Mhm.
And what and is it taking me? Am I living what I know?
Mhm.
Or am I living the limitations of what I've been thinking?
Interesting.
So
Cool.
But I love what you said about the proven. That's perfect,
Really
and
cool.
that goes along with my healing through laughter. Like, I was doing some research and finding out, and I said about, if there's like practices that do it, and I seen like clowns and comedy, and it was funny because one of my brothers said, when I told him about it, he said, so you got jokes now? And I'm like, oh, you're funny.
It just made me think of Patch Adams.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Was it Robin Williams
bringing laughter into the hospital with?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't Robin Williams play that in a movie? Yeah. That was good. Girl, we got to get moving. We're almost.
I know. Chop. All right.
Wow.
Last question is, how do you bring accountability into your life, Lisa?
I have a lot of accountability partners. I do, like, and just thinking about it, it's like I have like, even for the 5 a.m. wake up, I have an accountability partner. I have, that we hold each other accountable. We call each other 5 o'clock in the morning. So,
making sure you're up.
Yeah, for my wellness, everything, like, in every area. And sometimes I want to be resistant to it, and I want to hide from them when I don't feel like I'm being accountable. But they're there for me. They're there for me, and we're there for each other. So, like, sometimes it's not even, oh, they're there for me, but, oh, I got to show up to be supportive of someone else. So it takes you out of the selfishness of it's just about me.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. It's time for our takeaways, ladies. Are you ready for your takeaway, Allison?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go because there was a lot of them. So I got to narrow this down. Whew. But I would say, first of all, you know what my takeaway is actually, because I could name all kinds of things. My takeaway is actually that I didn't meet Lisa until this morning. I had no idea how this was going to go. And I am so grateful that you said yes to being on our podcast, because I just learned so much from you in the last 23 minutes, like a wealth of knowledge. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing with our audience. And yeah, I just like, wow. Like, I'm like, I have so many notes written down of things. Like, I got to read Radical Forgiveness. I got to look into the Steps to Knowledge. I got to get back to wake. I used to wake up at 5 a.m. too. And I've been really bad lately. Like, I need to get back to waking up at 5 a.m. So thank you so much for coming on here. It's been amazing meeting you and getting to learn from you.
Thank you.
I was gonna say I need to get up at 5 a.m. too, so we can call each other at 5 a.m.
Yes.
But
I'll answer your text, Julietta.
One thing I really love that you said from the very get-go is making your challenge your superpower. And like, that's something, like, I'm definitely gonna think about that a little bit and discover a new superpower for myself.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with Alison. It's like so fun. None of us we haven't met each other in person. And, there's always a little nervousness in that, but a good friend of mine suggested you as a guest, and from the moment I knew you were going to be an amazing, fantastic guest. So I'm so just like Allison, I'm so grateful that you said yes and joined us this morning, because you had so much goodness to share. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
What is your takeaway today, Lisa?
My takeaway, first of all, I'm in agreement with you. I didn't know any of you ladies. I went off of someone saying, "Oh, could you speak?" And I just said yes. And so I did get on. I think I got on one of the calls, and I was on the 4 agreements. I was like, "Oh my God, all these synchronicities!" I was so excited about it. This is awesome. Yes, yes. God, voices of the goddess. This is awesome.
I remember that.
Yeah, goddess of love. Oh my goodness, this is. Oh yes, 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 yes. And I was so excited about saying yes. And that was the thing. Sometimes, and then when I got up this morning, I was like, I felt a little nervous, but then like I changed nervous to excitement, because it's like they're cousins. And so I'm like, oh, I get to choose. I get to choose which one I want to be. Am I nervous? Or am I excited? Oh, you're so freaking excited. You're excited that you're going to go out and share some more of yourself. And so I'm grateful to just saying yes. And that was a takeaway from this experience. Like, I learned something from y'all, like now I'm like, I got to check out Proven. And it's funny because I'm supposed to be, I'm doing next month, I'm doing something on stressors, how to release stressors.
Oh,
so I have to put together this this program to do that for this presentation. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got to check that out and add that in it. So it all worked, and it was all like supportive of everything that I did. So I'm excited, and I thank you that I get to meet you now. And I'm like, okay, let me start going on this platform a little more, because like what y'all share is valuable. And I'm glad that y'all said, well, let me just, instead of just like curling up in a ball and being in a corner, like saying, how can I contribute and offer value into the world? And this comes up.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
This was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. And thank you to our audience for listening to us. And if you've liked what you heard today, please share this with your friends. Please subscribe. And all of the information, the important tidbits that we talked about, and how to get in contact with Lisa and either of us will all be in the show notes. So look there to get links and stuff for all that wonderful information. And I want to wish everybody a magical day.
Thank you.
Bye.